This is the BAPS Hindu Mandir and Haveli. I'll first tell you what a Haveli is, roughly translated as a cultural complex. The Haveli is a traditional mansion in Gujarat and Rajasthan in India from at least 500 to 600 years ago, where wooden architecture and art crafted into wood was the primary feature. In India today, many Havelis are now derelict. The style has gone out of fashion a long time ago, but in the BAPS Hindu movement, we have revived this style by always attaching a Haveli or cultural complex to our temples. So the architecture you actually see here, the carving on wood-inspired carvings, the balconies, even the design within the balconies, all of this is inspired from art which is at least 500 or 600 years ago. And in fact, it's a bit of a time capsule here in South Africa. What you'd have to go into the interiors of Gujarat or Rajasthan to see, you can now see very easily here in Johannesburg. You're also just seeing some of the artwork over here. This is an inspired glow garden, and this is actually called a kalash. A kalash is a water pot which always has a coconut on top of it. Within the water pot there'd be waters from all holy rivers, and that is used to sanctify people and places. So this art also reflects some of those cultural values of sanctity of nature, divinity in water, divinity in plant life and fauna. And this is something that our volunteers, together with some of our monks, have actually put together in celebration of this function. Yeah, I think what we can do now is I can first show you the temple as it will be now.
Yeah, okay.
And then the actual temple that will come in 3 years' time. Yeah?
All right.
Would that be okay? So these are the images which are now part of the Haveli or cultural complex. Yeah, you can go to. Essentially, I'd give you the background symbolism or meaning behind these images or murtis, as we say in Hinduism. The belief in Hinduism is after a ceremony called Pran Pratishtha, where verses from the Vedas are chanted. The Vedas are Hindu scriptures which are at least 5,000 years old. When this ceremony is performed with chanting of Vedas by someone who is a pure soul, divinity is manifest within these murtis, and these murtis are then treated as if they are God manifest. So now onwards in this cultural complex, the murtis which are here, these images, will be worshipped daily by specialized priests, and the devotees will come and offer their prayers, introspect, meditate, sing, as is our custom. And the meaning behind there being so many images or murtis in front of you is that the Hindu belief is that one divinity can manifest its power in different forms at different times. Thus, the different types of manifestations are represented here. Also with that is our lineage of gurus who are on the two extremes. The belief is that to progress in the spiritual path, one should be mentored by someone who has already walked the path, experiences deep personal peace within themselves in times of joy and sorrow, and is able to guide others to also live and practice accordingly.
Okay.
This is just an African art piece welcoming Mahant Swami Maharaj, our spiritual leader, Guru, who has come to South Africa, and a celebration of what Africa stands for, and the tapestry which is Africa in terms of wildlife, plant life, flora and fauna. Prominent in it is the protea flower, which is also the logo, part of the logo of our Mandir project. And because the protea grows after forest fires, it stands for rejuvenation and resilience. And we hope that this mandir, this temple and cultural complex, is part of the rejuvenation of South Africa.
And these pictures?
Yeah, you can have a look. So these are just two images of our volunteers. This is a team called the Pink Helmets. The lady volunteers of our movement and many other people who have joined from various communities took the task of painting the entire complex, which has been a mammoth task. And of course, they've lent their expertise for many other crafts. On the next poster, you'll see that these wood-inspired designs were actually polished and then painted by the women's wing as well. Sometimes that might not fit typical gender roles, but it's the female volunteers, the Pink Helmets, that have done the finishing touches to the artwork here.
Very nice.
Ultimately, this is phase 2 of the Mandir project. We're next to the cultural complex or Haveli, a beautifully ornate Mandir with many sculptures and illustrations will be built. That's a long-term project. And yes, this is the Haveli that you are seeing right now. This is an artistic rendition, but of course the real thing now stands. This is an overview of the entire complex. So we have our cultural center on the left, the temple on the right, other facilities, all together over 14 acres. Therefore, the largest Hindu Mandir complex in the Southern Hemisphere. The cultural complex will include space for yoga, meditation, self-development courses, learning many languages, arts and culture, different art forms, different dance forms, different musical instruments as well. Also, it will be the headquarters of BAPS Charities, which is the organization's humanitarian and outreach wing. I can show you this is ultimately what the Mandir, which is phase 2, will look like. So it will be multi-floored with many spires and lots of detailed sculptures and architecture on each wall, each pillar. So it will be a marvel in South Africa. Nothing exists like this in the Southern Hemisphere. Sure to be a place of spirituality, but also, importantly for the country, a tourist destination as well.
Very nice.
You can have a look at the artwork here as well. So this is an art form called Rangoli. Rangoli has different variations in different parts of India, but all of them have a similar meaning of bringing auspiciousness to the home or to your place of dwelling. So our ladies wing have created this as an auspicious sign and a welcoming sign for all guests who visit us.
Is that it?
So that's it in a crux, yeah?
Just get you in the video and
Sure.
just tell me your name.
Okay. My name is Hemang Desai. I'm a volunteer with BAPS and I'm also the spokesperson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So this is an art piece which welcomes guests. Right in the center is our logo. It's the temple growing out of the protea flower. Essentially a meaning that after a period of economic and perhaps even social downturn, as the country re-emerges with great prospects and a lot of hope, we hope that this mandir, this temple, is also part of that resurgence and reinvigoration. On either side, you see some artwork. On the right are symbols from India. On the left are symbols from Africa. So the blue crane and peacocks as flowers, as birds. The springbuck and the cow as animals, and the banyan tree and the baobab tree as trees. All of them with their different symbolisms. With our logo in the middle, meaning that we hope that this is a center of intercultural exchange, multicultural dialogue, and true appreciation of many cultures. The tagline of our temple is a jewel of hope and unity. Jewel in the sense that so much of the world's wealth has come from Africa, and Africa, South Africa in particular, is a jewel in so many ways. There's so much here in terms of art, culture and spirituality. Hope and unity, I think I've covered. There's a lot of hope in the nation, and we want to be part of the change in South Africa. And unity, of course, is a appreciation of what South Africa has given, especially the Indian community, a place to call home, to thrive, to succeed, and also to be able to preserve one's own culture while learning from others and appreciating others. So welcome to the jewel and a jewel of hope and unity, which is the BAPS Hindu Mandir complex. It's a large complex, and we hope there's still a bit of work left to do.
So when is it all expected to be completed, you said?
Phase 2 will take still some years because the stonework is crafted in India, it's transported here and then assembled in South Africa. So all of that takes some amount of time and effort, but we hope that in 2 to 3 years we can inaugurate phase 2 as well. So this is a very traditional Gujarati meal, Gujarat being a province in India to the northwest. Our tradition is always to start with something sweet. So in fact, because the mandir was open today, there's 3 types of sweets. This is called rasmalai, this is called jalebi, and Shayona, our restaurant, pure vegetarian restaurant which supports the temple's activities, will also be opened here. So all of this will be available to the public in the long run. There's some pasta as well for the young ones, or I guess for everyone who has that taste as well. All of this is pure vegetarian, which is in line with our ethics of trying to live as harmlessly as possible.
It's the same both sides.
So all of this is done by our volunteers. The cooking, the serving. The gentlemen you are seeing here are part of our parking and security team. All of them have been on site for months for the final finishing touches of the complex, and now they're giving their time every day free of charge as a devotion and social service for this project to be a success. Great view of the fireworks from the courtyard.